So I went home, and this is where the tough love kicked in. My mom loved me, I'm sure, but she needed me to understand that, look, you did this and you have to figure it out. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Jadene. I'm gonna share the story of how I found out I was pregnant at 15 and like how I dealt with it, how I told my mom, how she dealt with it, the whole works. And along the video I will share pictures of my daughter and stuff like that. So first of all, when I found out I was pregnant, I was 15 years old. I was 15 and terrified. How I didn't know that I was pregnant was because I didn't have the most regular periods to begin with. So when it didn't come for a while, I was just like, okay, it happens from time to time, so it's nothing too serious. But then when I saw it going on like past 3 months, I'm like, no, this is not okay. Like, something has to be wrong. Now, I took pregnancy tests, but they did come back negative. I took like 2 and they came back negative, and then I took 1 outside, and that's the one that said I was actually pregnant. No, I was terrified. I'm not gonna lie. I did not want to be pregnant. I don't think anybody wants to be pregnant at 15. I didn't want to be pregnant. I wasn't ready to have a baby. I was in high school. I was in the 10th grade. I think I had just gone into the 10th grade. And, you know, I was just ready to dive into high school basically, because that's when it starts getting like serious. That's when you start buckling down and like getting it together. Now, before I went into the 10th grade, like the first time I ever like had sex or anything, I remember one of my friends and we were talking about it, and when it did happen, like we spoke about it at school. And thinking back, it was a pretty dumb thing to do. Like, never feel, I wouldn't say my friend pressured me or anything, because she didn't. We just spoke about it, and I just decided, oh, I should try, which was the worst idea ever. But now that I am talking about it, now that I'm past it and I'm able to like talk about it, I would encourage anybody, do not try this until you feel like you're ready. 15, 16, even 17 is not the age for you to be doing anything at all. Like, this is when you're supposed to be focusing on school and what you want to become, and I wish I had focused on those stuff, but I don't regret having my daughter. My daughter is the single most important person in my life right now. Like, everything I do is for her. Now, going back to when I found out I was pregnant, so I was still going to school. I found out I was pregnant, and I was like, well, I still have to go to school. I was slim, so I wasn't showing. I have one picture of my whole pregnancy, because this was back in, was it 2009? Yeah, because I had my daughter February 2010. I didn't have a good phone to like take a lot of pictures, and I was embarrassed for like some parts of my pregnancy, because I'm 15 and I'm pregnant, and everybody looks at you when you're 15 and pregnant, and it's like when they're looking at you, they look with so much disappointment. So I was embarrassed for some part, until one day my mom had to like tell a lady that, look, we're good, it's fine, leave her alone, you know. And I appreciate my mom so much, because let me tell you, she was there for me and I needed her. She was there for me, but she did give me some tough love. Going back to when I found out, so I was still going to school. I decided with my boyfriend at the time, I'm like, look, I'm gonna go to school until I feel like I can't go anymore. So I was going to school for another like couple of months, and I think I found out like probably over the holidays. I can't even remember at this point. It was summer, and then, you know, you'd go back to school September, or it was late summer, like almost September, and it was time to go back to school. And I was like, I'm gonna go to school still. However, I needed to tell my mom. So I told my baby father, I'm like, listen, you have to tell her, because I didn't do this to myself, you know. and you know, he went to talk to her, and of course he was kicking stones, because this is not the easiest thing to say to a 15-year-old's mother. Oh, I got your daughter pregnant, you know. It's not the easiest thing. However, he told her. She was so disappointed, she cried. You know, I told him, I'm like, don't leave yet, because she's not going to say anything when you're here. It's when you leave, you know. But he could only stay there for so long, and when he left, as I suspected, she was so mad. She was like, how could you do that? You know, I'm so disappointed. She cried. I knew that week she wouldn't give me money to go to school, because I know my mom. So, and he held it down, I'm not gonna lie. So I had money to go to school for like 2 weeks, and like after the 2 weeks I ran out of money, and I was like, you know, so I like went to my mom, and I'm like, I don't have any money. And I can remember she used to like throw it down on the table or on the ironing board. Sometimes it would fall off. I didn't care that it fell off. I picked it up because I needed it, and I knew I messed up. So listen, at this point, it's not the time to be complaining about her throwing the money down or whatever. Get it because you need it, and keep it moving. And I thought as time progresses, the pregnancy would grow on her. So the Sunday night before school, the Monday morning, I was ironing my uniform, and she was saying to my sister, why is she ironing her uniform? Where's she going? She even thought that my sister knew, but she didn't, because she was saying, how long did you know? I can't believe you knew and didn't say anything. But my sister did not know. She literally did not know. However, I just felt like I wanted to go to school until I reached the point where it started showing and I cannot go anymore. So I was going to school for about, I stopped going to school, I think the October or the November, like early, the last month of school was like the October. So the November, I registered myself into a school called the Women's Center. This is back in Jamaica, where it's a school for pregnant girls. So you go when you're pregnant, and you know, you finish your pregnancy there, and they place you back in a regular high school setting afterwards. So I registered myself, and I was going there. I was growing, I was showing. People were beginning to see now. People were looking. At this point, I was more comfortable. It wasn't as bad as initially when I found out I was pregnant and I was showing. And I feel like once a certain amount of people know you're pregnant, it's like you automatically start showing. I don't know, I'm just saying that. So after I registered myself in the Women's Center, you know, I was going there, and then my friends started seeing me because I had stopped going to like my regular school. Some of my friends knew, like 1 or 2 of my friends knew, and I wasn't showing or anything. And I was starting to eat more for lunch. I was eating like 2-3 patties, and I was sleeping. Now I started sleeping, and I'm like, this is beginning to affect school, so I have to like stop and like go to a regular school. And when I was leaving, I told one of my teachers, and she was like, you know, I don't know where she was. I guess she was disappointed because I was a good student for the most part. But I told her what I was gonna do, what I was planning to do. I was gonna go to the Women's Center, have my baby, and then go back to school. And I did exactly that. I didn't want to be the typical teenage pregnancy. It's like a teenage girl gets pregnant, she drops out of school, she becomes a permanent baby mother, she does not go back to school. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to further my education because I wanted to be the best mom I could be for my daughter. So fast forward to February, you know, I had my daughter. My mom used to run like a restaurant type situation, like a cook shop. So I used to go there and help out. We all used to go there. My sister, my brother, and I used to go there and help out and stuff. I had the baby, and I had to be going back to school still. When the baby was here, like the night when I was in labor, the night, I wasn't feeling any pain, but I was uncomfortable. And I used to do a lot of reading. And the school that I went to, they taught you stuff, so you know when it's contractions or whatever, which was a good part about the school. So I knew when I was having the contractions, and I told my mom the night, and she made me some thyme tea. And I don't know if that helped, because there are a lot of myths in Jamaica and a lot of old wives' tales and whatever. So I don't know if that helped, but I had a pretty easy delivery, I'm not gonna lie. So I went to the hospital. I was breathing through my contractions because I was so young and I was so small. Like, they asked me, my birthday was February 8th, and I had my daughter February 23rd. So I just turned 16. So when I went to the hospital, they asked me, how do I know I'm having the baby? And I'm like, I know I'm having contractions. I've been timing them. They're this far apart. And then the lady told me to like go lay on a bed on my left side, and when I feel the contractions, just breathe. Now I knew that poops are associated with the baby coming, so I felt the baby coming, but I didn't feel like I wanted to poop. But I think they didn't take me seriously, so I told her I feel like I want to poop. And then that's when she went and examined me, and the baby was literally like right there ready to pop out. And she was like, okay, let's get it going. You know, I had a pretty smooth delivery. I was in there for like 5 minutes tops. I had her at 4:35 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. She weighed 7 pounds. She instantly started crying when she came out. I was so happy when I saw her. I was in tears. I've never been terrified throughout the whole pregnancy until I was at the hospital. And I pushed the first 2 times, and I guess I wasn't doing good enough. And the lady said to me, listen, you carry this baby for 9 months. Now is not the time to like suffocate her. Like, you have to push because she's ready to come, but you have to help her. And the next push, she was out. They cleaned me up, wheeled me back to the room, and then they cleaned her up and brought her there. And I guess the motherhood kicked in instantly. I knew what I was doing. I knew how to breastfeed her. I knew how to change her, and that's where it started from. My mom came in the morning. Her dad came in the morning. You know, I went home like a few days later because I have a negative blood type, so I needed to get a ROGAM. And if you have been through a pregnancy and you have a negative blood type, you will know what I'm talking about. But for people who don't know, it's so much harder to explain. So I went home, and this is where the tough love kicked in. My mom loved me, I'm sure, but she needed me to understand that, look, you did this and you have to figure it out. As much as she helped me, she wanted me to learn on my own. So in the days, she would be gone to the cook shop and I would be at the house with the baby. I had to figure most stuff out on my own. She would tell me stuff, but for the most part, she wanted me to be responsible. She wanted me to be a mom. And I don't regret having my daughter because she taught me so much. She made me into the woman I am today. I was so mature after having her, and I felt like just because I wasn't ready to be a parent, and I literally went into it all on my own, I had to figure it out, and I had to be a woman for my daughter. And today she is 8 years old and she's a big girl, you know. But I wouldn't encourage anybody right now to be, if you're between 13, 14 and like 16, 17, I would not encourage you to be messing around to even get pregnant right now, because now it's just not the time. You have to be focused on yourself. Shortly after like a year or so after the baby, you know, when she was a year old, things started spiraling with me and her dad, so that did not work out. And for the most part, I was a single mom. He did what he still does what he's supposed to do for her, but she's been living with me since. Now, she's in Jamaica with my mom at the moment, so she does not live with me. She hasn't lived with me for like almost 2 years, but we talk almost daily because she's 8 now and she's able to like text and call and all that stuff. But oh my gosh, I didn't even, my mom, it was a bad, like, finding out I was pregnant, telling my mom, it was bad because I disappointed my mom, and I never want to be a disappointment to anybody. So I thought, listen, I need to go back to high school. I need to further my education for my daughter and for myself. So I went back to high school. I got my subjects. In Jamaica, in the Caribbean countries, you do what is called CXC. It's an exam. And I got all my subjects that I did, and I went to a college afterwards. I did some type of nursing. I have an international diploma in geriatric nursing practitioner, which I cannot use here, but I still have it. And I did office admin, so I have that too. And I was running a business for like 4 years, and I raised my daughter for the most part on my own, because when I started running the business was after I left high school, and that was in 2012, and I was living on my own with her where the business was. So I feel like I held it down pretty well, and I did good for myself as her mom and as a person. But oh my gosh, there were moments when it was so hard. There were moments where I just felt like, oh my gosh, this was such a bad idea, but there was nothing to do because I was already head in it, you know. And my daughter turned out beautifully. She's still here. I don't regret it, and that is my story. I may have left out some stuff, and I'm only gonna realize that like when I'm going back through and like editing the video. If I left anything out and you guys want to know, you can comment them down below, and I'll probably like go through and answer them either in the comments or probably in another video. I'm not sure, but I just wanted to share my story and share what I go through. And I must say, and I've said it like 2 times already throughout this video, if you are young, if you are like 13, 14 to 16, 17, do not. Trust me when I say I had a mom who was supportive and who was there for me, but every mother is not the same. No mom wants her daughter to be pregnant young and to like drop out of high school and all of that stuff. No mother wants that, and everybody reacts differently. So you might think that, oh, my mom's there, she's not gonna be that mad, and it's actually the opposite, you know. So do not get yourself in a situation like that, at least not now. Just wait to have sex, wait to have kids, wait for when the time is right, and trust me, when the time is right you will know. But do not put yourself in a situation where you are gonna get pregnant, because these men, they don't, when you're young like that, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna move on, and you guys are not gonna be together for the rest of your lives, and you're gonna feel pretty shitty because of how they moved on and how they left you in a situation. And it's just sad on your part because they're living their lives and you have the baby, and that's just how it is. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you enjoy the video, and of course if you have any questions, make sure you comment them down below and I'll try my best to answer.